Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. And right now I'm just filming and taking a little bit of break from work. So as I was checking what's going on with the current rates of the Philippines, because I've been monitoring what is the exchange rate of the US dollar to Philippine peso, and I was a bit shocked because surprisingly the Philippine peso hit 61.75 for $1, and that is quite high. Now I'm really hoping that it will not gonna go beyond 62, because if it is go beyond 62, I could imagine what's gonna happen, but I don't want to experience it. So currently, um, I live here in the Philippines, and I do earn in US currency, so that's the reason I'm actually monitoring in it. So I'll give you a little bit of an update. Basically, I work in a wealth management in Hong Kong, and it becomes a part of me to look what is happening, the current rates. So right now it's been like almost more than like basically 2 months in a day, and since the beginning of war in the Strait of Hormuz. So there is a reason why it becomes like, it feels like our most salaries are not enough, because the reason is the exchange rate of our country are just being smashed by the USD. So basically, the Philippines do import most of everything. So when that happened, we use a lot of dollar. And adding to that, there is a war happening in the Strait of Hormuz, which is making the oil price go crazy. And if you notice, it's been like around $111 for the Brent crude. And unfortunately, we mostly purchase our uh, fuel on Singapore, so it's more expensive. Luckily, the United States of Treasury given a special privilege to Russia to sell some oil in Southeast Asian, which I think you don't need to pay in dollar, because Russian oil wants to be paid either in yuan or either in ruble. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that our exchange rate of using dollars has not spiking yet, but that would be like in the next 30 days. So hoping for a little bit best scenario in the Philippines, even if I'm not sure if there's really going to be a best. So hold on guys, we're going to have a chit chat regarding our salary that it's not even getting enough anymore. So in a couple of days also, the Banco of Central did hike an interest rate, because the inflation of our country, Philippines, just went up to 4.5%. And the growth of the Philippines is very, very slow, which is like around 3% to 4, which is not good. However, Banco Central decided to raise the hike for interest rate. So that makes us that if you want to borrow more money to some institution, they will charge you a higher interest. So I would suggest you better pay all your debt and don't add more debt on your account, because I know there's so many lending apps, and stay away from that. Okay. And then suddenly the BSP are expecting also that that our inflation will be probably gonna go jump to 6%. But that's why they are raising the interest rate to bring down the inflation, so our money are still have a purchasing power. And Another crazy news that I stumbled a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure if you heard about this first gen investment or company here in the Philippines owned by Lopez's. I think there's an issue with it, and there's a potential that the SSS and the GIS will be losing 1 billion. So that's like 2 billion. And if you have like, money from MP2 or savings from SSS, it just doesn't good to hear this news, because this money are from retirement. In other country, in the UK, which is more on the investment, and even in the US, they are not allowed to put the money of their retirement in some high risk investment, which is like the blue chip, and the GIS and the SSS has a special law that they can. However, it's just gonna keep adding in our plate. So yeah, you can think all about it, what I said, and then you tell me if the salary is still gonna be enough, because most of our importation are paid by the USA. And I'm not really sure if you do guys pay attention with all this news, because sometimes when I post this in my social media, and I think people are so, I don't know, maybe they think that I'm so serious, and they think that, oh, what the hell am I posting? But as I work in wealth management, every centavos counts, and every move that you make is very, very important, that it is aligned to your goal or to our goal. And of course, here in the Philippines, it's quite different. But if you speak with these old people every day, you will heavily influence of how they thought, and it's just become my daily routine. So I'm just watching if what is happening. Of course, my salary will gonna go increase also, but who does like to increase the bill also, because it's like the oil price is so high, and since we import of what we use, it's just become expensive. So everything is expensive. Now, when everything is expensive, then the inflation goes up, and suddenly the money that you have, or my money, doesn't feel the same anymore. So imagine you earn like 500 pesos in Philippines, but it feels like 440. And then imagine, well, look at the receipt of your groceries. Everything's are so high in there. So even if your salary didn't change, everything around us did. So yeah, guys, you know, most money comes in, but it's so hard to stay. But no matter what, when you get paid, when I get paid, buy the coffee that you like. Well, I don't know what is your favorite food to eat, but you have to treat yourself or save a little bit. So you have to, because it's frustration, and you work so hard and feels like nothing stays. So give yourself a small win. But now let's talk about something deeper. Like, as I mentioned to you, why is it that most Filipino salaries still don't feel enough? And don't say budgeting, because I heard this all the time. And maybe it is true. You buy something that unnecessary, but look at what you do now. Look at the value of our money. You have no choice but to buy the things that you only need. Because the truth is, sometimes, it's not just about spending. Sometimes it's really about where do you start. So let me ask you something. Did you ever think or really plan what do you want in your career? So let's say when you finish your college, what's in your mind? Oh, you what? You want to work in a police, you want to work in, I don't know what kind of career that you want to. But most people just look for a job, and if it is pays 15,000 to 20,000, that's fine. That's huge. That's okay. They accept it. And because of that, at least their mindset, they're like, oh, I have a job, which is like, great, now I can start saving. But here is the biggest problem. Sometimes um, some of those jobs were never designed to grow. So there is no clear path, no real increase, and without realizing it, you've been there in that job for the last 8 years, let's say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, and you know, same salary. Like maybe yeah, you get increased like maybe like 2,000 per year. Do you get increased 2,000 per year? If you do, then that's good. If not, then that means you still have the same life. And not because you're working hard, but because you entered the system that there is no growth at all. So that's the part most people don't want to take a gamble, or maybe they don't see it. So now you're just dealing with the prices that has been going to, you're just dealing the prices, you're just dealing in a higher prices, and you're also dealing a salary that never caught up because they don't have a growth for you. They just want to offer you 20,000 a month, and then they were gonna say, "Oh, we're just gonna wait till the government will say there's gonna be an increase," and that's really, really feel heavy at this current time. Like 2026 is a year of very unexpected. There's so many things that is happening, and that's probably one of the reason why you're behind. Like your salary is not keeping up with all your expenses. But but the truth is, we're not the trees. We're not the trees. So it means we can move, you can move, I can move, we can adjust, you can adjust, we can build something better. So maybe the better question is, did your salary fail you, or did the world change around us? Because once you clearly see it and you stop blaming yourself and you start understanding the game, and when you understand the game, you will start playing differently. There is this one guy that I saw in Bloomberg long time ago. It was part of my job, and he says, like, it was during COVID time, like everything are locked down, all the markets are going down like crazily. And he said, if you want a better result of your investment, and if you want a better path of your life, you have to put an anchor of a bigger boat. So right now we are sitting in this little tiny paper boat. Maybe not paper because it will gonna make us drown. Well, I think we're going to go drown if this thing's not gonna stop, right? So maybe we're sitting in a tiny boat. Now all we need to do is look it up, find those big boat, the vessels, the cruise where you can anchor, and you start in there. So yeah, because I just wanted to share to you guys that I can feel also the burden of, the salaries not being enough, because I spend a lot of money, and of course I do budget a little bit, but sometimes it makes me think that how come white Filipinos, are stagnant with the salary. But I understand, it's so scary that you will take a gamble for some job that you don't know if it is for you. But if there is a growth on that job and it will gonna learn you some serious skills, I'll take a gamble for it and do it. So anyway, guys, I'll chat you next time, because I think the video gets so long and I need to go back to work. So, yeah. Try to reinvent yourself and find some new skills that you can start doing in it. I think you are gonna get it if you're gonna start just shake off all the negative things in your head and just simply do it no matter what. And there's no plan B. There's only plan A, which is like means you have to win. Bye.